Okay, what is your life expectancy? This is the question. And I had to add this slide because planning for wealth is an assignment to help you become wealthy. But the argument here is that you need to plan it out. You need to think about it and plan it out, and then follow your guide or roadmap to get there. Right? That's kind of the idea here. And again, you can retire when you have enough money without working to cover all your expenses for the rest of your life. Okay. And for most Americans, that's, well, for a lot of Americans, that never happens. Okay. But for most Americans retire around age 62. And then they kind of hobble along till the end of the road. But depends, you know, Kobe Bryant, as we mentioned before, retired at age 36 as a multi-millionaire. Okay. So who knows, right? Who knows what your outcome will be, but hopefully it'll be very good. But sometimes my students say, well, why do we need to do all this planning and thinking and writing when we don't know when we're going to die? So I went to the Social Security Administration and I found their life expectancy calculator. Now, we've had Social Security in the United States for almost 100 years. I believe the legislation was passed in 1936, and the first checks went out in 1941. So almost at 100 years with Social Security. And the Social Security Administration needs to know when people were born. Well, they need to know if you're an American, okay? If you're an American citizen or green card holder, they need to know that for sure. And they need to know where you're born, and they need to know when you turn 62 or 67, which is the 66 and a half, which is the current retirement age, full retirement age. At 62, you can collect the basic Social Security, which is about $845 a month. But if you wait till 66 and a half, you can collect full Social Security disbursements, which in California right now are $1,745 a month on average. Some people more. I think the largest Social Security checks that are going out are around $3,000 a month. But those are people who big earners, and they contribute tons of money to the Social Security fund, because the money you contribute to the fund is, at least in theory, it's invested and it grows, and then when you retire, they give you your money back with interest. That's kind of the way it works. It's not welfare, okay? It's not a freebie. You have to contribute to the fund to get back your money with interest, and depending how much you contribute, that's what you'll get. Okay, so Social Security Administration has data on hundreds of millions of Americans for the last nearly 100 years. Okay, so and they need to know when you were born, when you applied for Social Security, and they also need to know when people die so they can stop sending the check. Okay, that might be the most important thing they need to know. So they need to know like how long people live. So they know how long people live, right? And they have data on hundreds of millions of Americans for almost 100 years. So the data should be quite good. Okay, so what I'm asking you here, and again, you should be working on this assignment now, right? As we're talking about it, so you can type of your answers, save it, email it to yourself so you don't lose it, and you're done for the week with this assignment. Okay, so let's go to this website that belongs to the Social Security Administration. I think I already have it, just in case. Let's see, right? No, maybe not. Sometimes it disappears on this one. I think it's this one, but let me go back. Pretty sure it's this one. No, there it is. Okay, yeah. Okay. So this is from the Social Security Administration of the United States, and it's entitled "Retirement and Survivors Benefits Life Expectancy Calculator." Okay, so you kind of want to know how long you're going to live. I want to know, you know, so I can kind of plan things out. You know, if you think you're going to live a very short life, to be honest with you, go for broke. If you were like Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, Jim Morrison of the Doors, you might as well go for broke, because they died at age 27. Okay, so and they lived it up. Okay, but that's probably why they died. Too many drugs, you know. So, but let's say you're not into drugs, but you know you're going to live a short life. You might as well live it up, because what the heck? But that's not the case for most Americans. Most Americans are going to live a long life. About 2/3 live a long life. About 15% will live a shorter life than average, and about 15% will live a really long life, especially women. Okay, so you're talking about something like 100 minus 15, 85% of Americans will either live a long life or a very long life, and about 50% will live below less than average lifespan. Okay, so let's do it. Let's do a couple examples here, or case studies. And we'll start with the male case, because men are living almost 5 years less than women. In other words, women are outliving men by about 5 years, almost 5 years. I think the number is, I think, 4.6 years. So let's say 5, about 5 years. Okay, so let's start with the male case, because that one's not so optimistic as the female case. And any month, doesn't matter which month, could be December. And any day is okay. And let's say you were born the year 2000, just to have a easy number. I should probably pick like before 2000. I think 2000 is good. It's a easy year to remember. Okay, so let's say you're male, you're born in the year 2000. What does the Social Security Administration have to say about your life expectancy based on the data they have on hundreds of millions of Americans in the last nearly 100 years? Okay. Now, of course, people say that past performance is not an indicator of future performance. That's true. Sometimes the future is very different from the past, but I don't think that's the case in this case. Okay. It is true that COVID has reduced the life expectancy of Americans by about 2 years, but eventually we'll get past this COVID thing and we'll be back to the regular data that the Social Security Administration has in their archives. Okay, so let's find out. You're a young man born in the year 2000. What is your life expectancy as per the Social Security Administration of the United States? Okay, so right now you're almost 21, and the Social Security Administration of the United States estimates that you will live to the age of 81. 81 plus or minus 5, I think. So the exact number is 81.2, but I think the range is probably 5 plus or minus 5. So most young men age 21 will probably die between the ages of I would say 76 and 86. So that's the range, I think. Okay, so if you're a young man age 21, when you get 76, you're probably in your last decade. Again, about 15% of people will live beyond that, beyond 86. But that's a small group. Okay, I wouldn't count on that. I would not count on that. I would count on the bulk. Okay, like that. However, so for the bulk, it's like between 76. You will die between 76 and 86, somewhere in there, 2/3 of the young men. Okay. However, if you hit the 70, when you get to 70, which many of you will get to, then your life expectancy will go to basically 88. Okay, so if you hit 70, a lot of college instructors are, around 70, and if you get to 70, then chances are you're gonna die somewhere between age let's see, 88 minus 5, 83 and 93. 83. So if you once you hit 70, when you hit 83, you will be in your last decade, with some exceptions. Some relatively small number of men will live beyond 93, but that's a small group. Maybe 15% will live beyond 93. Okay, so there is. Okay, so you know that if you're a young man, like most of you guys, you're gonna live to about age 80. Okay, and the problem here is that if most Americans are retiring at age 62, that means that you're gonna live about 20 years in retirement. And if you're retired, you're not working, maybe, let's say, or you can't work. You can't work for physical reasons, like your body's not working, or you have an illness, or mental reasons, like your mind's not working well anymore. Right? It's, you're some of the screws fell out, or whatever. So if you retire at 62, which is what most Americans do, and you're going to be 20 years in retirement, how are you going to pay your bills? How are you going to pay the rent, the food, utilities, transportation, automobile, health insurance, dental insurance, vision insurance? Will you be able to take some vacations? Will you be able to take some nice vacations, right? So that becomes a challenge. That becomes the big question. How are you going to do this? And that's why we have planning for wealth, right? So if you plan it and you do a good job, then you'll have a very wonderful life, right? You'll have a very comfortable life. Go to Europe, go to Cancun, go here, go there, right? And enjoy your life. Okay, so that's the male case. Let's do the female case. I have to go back. Okay, let's go. Let's say you're a young woman, and the month doesn't really matter, nor the year, nor the day, actually. And let's go back to the year 2000. I think the average college student in the United States is 27, and we're going with like 21, but that's okay. It's a little bit younger than the average. Okay, and what does the Social Security Administration have for your life expectancy if you're a young woman of 21, which some of you are? Okay, so if you are about 20, 21 years of age at the moment, the Social Security Administration forecasts that you will live to the age about 86. That's their number, 85.7. That's exactly. But I think it's a range, you know. So I think you're gonna die somewhere between the age of 80 and 90. More than men. Okay, men was 80, women 86. Or maybe young man was 81, women 86. Okay, so there it is. Okay, now if you're a young woman of 20, 21, and when you hit the age of 70, which probably about 85% of you will get to 70, about roughly 85% will get 70. Of the young women will get 70. Then your life expectancy will go up to 90, 89.8, basically 90. Okay, so then the range becomes between 85 and 95. So when you get to 85, you will probably be in your last decade. So probably 2/3 of women will die who get 70 of this cohort group will probably pass away between age 85 and 95. Okay, so that's a long time in retirement. Okay, so well, let's do the math. Let's say you pass away at age 90, which is what they're predicting here. And let's say you retire at 62, which most Americans retire at, which is the age that most Americans retire at. And they retire at 62 because they need the money. Okay, not because they're like, you know, not because, you know, for some other reason, because really you should wait until full retirement. Some financial advisors recommend that you keep working till age 7, because after that it's not so helpful to keep working. It's not so useful to keep working, right? But full retirement age right now in the United States is 66.6 years, almost 67. But let's say you retire at 62 and you're a young woman and you're going to live to the age of 90. You're going to spend 28 years in retirement. Let's say 30. You're going to spend 30 years in retirement. And if you're not working anymore, again, because of physical reasons, like your body's not working well anymore, or mental reasons, like, you know, you have Alzheimer's or dementia or something, Parkinson's, something, right? How are you going to cover your expenses? Your rent, your food, utilities, transportation, health insurance, dental insurance, vision insurance, car, a nice vacation, right? So you need to get ahead of the ball. Okay, you need to start planning now that you're young, and move forward through your life so that you can retire in a very nice way at whatever age that you retire, right? Again, Kobe Bryant, who was a basketball legend, retired at age 36 as a multi-millionaire. Okay, so it depends on your results, right? If you have fabulous results like Kobe Bryant, retirement age is 36. If you're average American, retirement age is 62. Right? It depends on you, right? Okay. Enough said. Okay, where are we here? Here we go. Okay, life experience. I think that was the last one to do. We had to do, yeah, 18.